right. Anyway, but there is an election tomorrow.
There is, and there's a number of things on the ballot. There's big school tax increase proposals in the Kirkwood School District and the Belleville School District. Both those are very large districts. Florissant and Arnold have sales tax increases. Edmondson is trying to stick it to some people.
We'll get to all of that, but first, let's talk with Richmond Heights and their ballot language. I like this one.
Well, we love highlighting unfair ballot language, and whether you're for it or against it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But it is extremely frustrating, to put it nicely, to watch governments put biased ballot language on there. Ballot language should be extraordinarily simple. Yes or no, here's what it's going to cost. Here's how much the tax is going to go up, or in a few cases, maybe down.
Yes.
But for Richmond Heights to say, if this is passed, it will cost the city critical funding and put our auto dealers in the area at a competitive disadvantage. I mean, there's a lot of bias in this ballot language. And I see Kelly has the exact wording in front of her.
So here it is. It says, shall the city of Richmond Heights apply and collect local taxes, so on and so forth. Approval of this measure will result in a reduction of local revenue to provide for vital services for the city of Richmond Heights. And will place Missouri dealers of motor vehicles, outboard motors, boats, trailers at a competitive disadvantage to non-Missouri dealers of motor vehicles, outboard motors, boats, and trailers.
Well, this should trouble your listeners, and this should trouble anybody. And it has nothing to do with whether it's a good idea or not. But to put clearly biased language on the ballot is fundamentally unfair and fundamentally not what the election system is for. You don't get to vote for candidate A, he's a great guy, or choose candidate B, he's a little sketchy. You just put the names or the amount of the tax and spending. That's it.
Yes, that's what the commercials are for.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly. All right. Now, in Florissant and Arnold, they got some. What's going on there? They got some sewers and road taxes going on there. What's
Florissant, the biggest city in St. Louis County? I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
That
over 50,000 people.
It's still the largest in the county. Has been for a long time. They've got a local sales tax for roads, and I don't like this, and I'm not. At the Show Me Institute, we were strongly opposed to the statewide sales tax for roads a little over a year ago. But at the local level, I understand that a lot of places have these transportation sales taxes, and St. Louis County especially has one. And I see the point of it locally. But still, when you can do things through user fees, I think you should. And I wish more cities would give consideration to the local gas tax option. Forrestal tried it a few months ago in a special election, and I didn't like it there because they were trying to export the cost of Forrestal roads to truckers getting gas off at the off-ramp.
Right.
But if you get a big city like Florissant or city of St. Louis, and to impose that 1 cent gas tax where local residents and trucks would pay the 1 cent gas tax for those local roads, I don't think that's a bad idea. And I think that's a better option going forward than constantly growing our sales taxes as it goes from what would have been 7% taxes back as recently as the 90s, now to 11 and 12% when you add in SIDS and TDDs all over the place. It's getting a little crazy.
What about Arnold? Arnold's got a sewer ballot. What's the big deal about that?
Well, I like this even less than the one. Because sewers.
Everybody uses the sewer.
Everybody uses the sewer, and you should pay based on your use of the sewer. You can, in most cases, you can judge how much you use a sewer based on your water bill.
Right.
And you can base a sewer bill based on water usage. And I think that user fee is far better than trying to get people who merely come shopping in Arnold and may never use a sewer well in Arnold, trying to get them to pay for Arnold sewers as well. Arnold recently privatized management of its sewer system. That's a good thing. They should continue with that trend and fund sewer improvements and sewer work by user fees and not this new sales tax.
I agree with you 300% because if you want to reduce your cost, if you're not charged for your water rights or your water usage, right? You won't fix the leak in the toilet. You won't fix the leak in the sink. But if you're charged for that, and you can save $20 a month or $10 a month or whatever by fixing that leak. You will fix that leak to save you money on your water bill.
You will, and think even bigger. I think the city of St. Louis has an annual swimming pool fee for people who have, because they don't charge by water, we've discussed many times.
Right.
They don't charge by usage in the city of St. Louis. They do tack a fee on if you have a swimming pool, but there's nothing that then prevents you from saying, I want to change my water out of my pool several times a year. I mean, it's sort of like a one-time charge.
Right. Yeah.
It should be a usage to fill that swimming pool or that hot tub. We have a hot tub. We live in St. Louis County. If we empty the water and refill it, we pay for that water. And then because we're using the water, we pay for it in the sewage bill too. That's how it should be.
Why do you change the water every time I'm in your hot tub, though? That's a bigger question.
I think that's a question you should be asking yourself, McGraw.
All right. And finally, anything else election-wise we should pay attention to?
Well, we have this Edmondson property tax increase that we've talked about a few times before. It really is outrageous, and I would say indefensible, and I'd like to look at it both ways. But when you're the city of Edmonton and you're trying to double your commercial property tax increase while maintaining, which is only 4 or 5 businesses in the city of Edmonton, and you're going to double their property taxes, which in the case of some hotels will be about a $40,000 a year property tax increase on these properties, and you're still allowing your residents to pay the rate of zero property taxes for the residents, well, I think that's indefensible. You're doing nothing more than going from exporting the cost of running Edmonton from people driving along I-70 that you were ticketing, and now you're exporting the cost of it to a few businesses that are in Edmonton, who should pay something. I'm not arguing they shouldn't pay anything for the city, but to radically increase their taxes while maintaining it at a residential rate of zero is terrible.
And remember, the reason why the city of St. Louis is not voting on tax dollars going to a new stadium is because they said there wasn't enough time.
Right. Not enough time.
Not enough time.
Although I think it would actually work out awfully well, conveniently, had they put this on the ballot.
Right.
And it is frustrating. I believe in a representative republic. I mean, I believe generally we should elect people.
Don't be spewing that stuff over here.
Well, let me
a representative government? Come on now.
We should elect people and they should make decisions. However, when people go through the trouble and go through the legal process to put initiative and referendum process and put something on the ballot saying that if you do this, we get to vote, I think for a judge to toss it out, and for even worse than the judge, for an arm of the government, the Regional Sports Authority, to sue the citizenry to prevent that, I think is also... I think that was a terrible policy move.
I agree.
Regrettable.
I agree 300%. David Stokes, ladies and gentlemen, Show Me Institute policy analyst and development director, and all-around heck of a guy. Where can we read you? Where can we see you?
Got a lot of information on these issues, plus some school ballot issues at showmeinstitute.org. Thank you, McGraw. Thank you, Kelly.
We can all agree on this, and that R&R Sanitation is the